I'm Kevin Klein. I want to bring something to your attention because I think it's very important that you hear this, and I think it's very important that you see behind the curtain a little bit when it comes to politics. Recently, I moved a motion at the Property Planning and Development Committee that I sit on to direct the public service to work with a group called Homes for Heroes. This is a not-for-profit organization. The website is up right now, and I urge you to check them out or Google them after you watch this video that I'm going to try to keep short. But I'm really disappointed, and I'm really concerned for our city, and I'm more concerned for our vulnerable population. Let me tell you what went on here. Dave Howard runs the group called Homes for Heroes. This group provides housing and programming for homeless vets. In the city of Winnipeg, over 20%, almost 30% of our homeless people are vets. Our homeless residents are people who served this country, who protected your freedoms, who went into other countries to protect their freedoms and their rights as human beings. And sometimes they come back with what you or I would call PTSD. They don't like to call it that. They call it a brain injury. And they have a difficult time reintegrating into society. It's happening all across the country. It's happening all across North America with returning vets. So Dave Howard, years ago, tried to get meetings with the mayor, tried to meet with other councillors, and tried to bring his program, Homes for Heroes, to the city of Winnipeg, because we have one of the highest populations of vets that are without homes or struggling with different reintegration to society issues. I got to meet Dave, and we started talking about his program, and I've had some others in the community meet with him and meet with me with Dave, and we've talked to ministers at the provincial level. He's talked to people at the federal level, and I said, no matter what, I want to help you find a location in Winnipeg. So we've been trying, we've been looking, and there's lots of available land, but it needs to, of course, be ready for, the zoning has to be proper, the facilities need to be, like the infrastructure needs to be there, and it needs to be in an area close to the bus and so on. Because they want to build 20 tiny homes. I'm going to show you some photos so you can see it. I'm going to show you a video at the end so you can see what they do. And again, I urge you to please see them online, check them out, do your research on this organization, because we may have lost them. At the last P&D meeting, the city came back and identified a piece of property in working with Mr. Howard and Homes for Heroes that could be used to immediately build a Homes for Heroes community. Immediately serve 20 members of our vulnerable population. Put them into homes that are barrack-like, like the Army barracks, something that they're familiar with. It has a mess center. It has on-site counselors. They work with these individuals to help them overcome the injuries they suffered while serving our country. And they reintegrate them into society. And once they're there, those vets don't leave any woman or man behind. And they go back and they start mentoring other vets that are coming into the program. This is a $4 million project. Homes for Heroes is willing to pay the $4 million and willing to buy the land from the city of Winnipeg. They just need to get the hurdles out of the way because there's a timeline. The federal government puts timelines on grants to do this. And there is a housing grant available and a veterans grant available, and they're working with the feds, and it's been extended once for them already. And when I moved the motion last month, I told my colleagues, time is of the essence. We're going to lose out. And we're going to miss this opportunity to help so many residents in our community that are vulnerable right now. And those residents that serve this country, women and men, who put their lives before others. We need to do something. And more importantly, we need to address the growing homeless population in our city. We are great at virtue signaling. We are great at talking about affordable housing. What is affordable housing? How do we know it's working? What are the results? I asked all these questions at our last property planning and development meeting. I didn't really get any answers. Well, we're working with a number of groups. We've helped designate millions of dollars. This is a group that wasn't asking for anything other than the opportunity to purchase a piece of land. You know, I had colleagues say, well, they should be working with a real estate agent. Now, we tried that. That was happening. We just couldn't find somebody willing to sell that land that had everything they needed to build a proper facility. We've talked to ministers, as I said, at the provincial level. We worked with them. He's worked with federal ministers. We just needed the city to come to the table. But what's happened now? Well, it went down this hole that's filled with red tape and hurdles. I understand in talking with the organization, waiting 3 months will force them to go to different communities. And here's the part that you need to hear. Other communities across Canada, Halifax, and let's use them as one example, reached out to the Homes for Heroes and said, we need help with our homeless, vulnerable population. We want you here. What do you want from us? They want to do Winnipeg. And he's tried for 3 years because he has connections to Winnipeg. He keeps getting blocked. How? Isn't this a no-brainer? You have a problem. Someone hands you a solution. It's a proven solution, and they don't want anything from you. And we say, well, you know what? Hang on. We got to go through our processes. We got to do the checks and balances. We got to talk to all the departments. We have to go through what we always go through. So it'll come back. They'll determine whether or not this property can be sold. And once they find that out, then it's going to get voted on, and it has to go to council. Then it has to come back to be voted on to be sold without an RFP process to one person. And then that's got to go to council, and then, they start the process of applying for their permits and so on. Halifax phoned them and said, if you want to start today, we'll make it happen. The Ontario Premier called them. I need at least 4 in our province. What do I need to do to make it happen? Gave them land. What else do you need? They have one in Calgary. They have one in Edmonton. They're building them all across the country. When they walk in, they're welcomed with open arms. They came here, and we've done nothing but give them a hard time. I'm embarrassed. I am embarrassed. I don't want to spend my time virtue signaling, standing next to somebody to take an Instagram photo, giving a check to this organization or that organization. Not that that's bad, there's some that need it. I just want to see results for the city of Winnipeg. I get it, I'm not one of those politicians. I get it, I understand that. I think they're all great people, they all mean well, but I have a different objective in mind. I want to see results in the city of Winnipeg. I want to help people. Within days, we were able to put in a regulation saying you cannot build an encampment under a bridge. Didn't go to council. No one told us about it. We got it in an email like the media did. That was within days. So where are these people going to go? Are we just moving the problem around? Hey, do you know there's an organization like Homes for Heroes that has a proven program? I urge you to think about these things. There's an election in 1 year. I urge you to think about this. Or if you have contact with a counselor or one of your MLAs, what is the problem here? Why haven't we rolled out the red carpet for this group and said, build 1? What are you kidding? Build 3. How can we help? It seems like a no-brainer. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe all of these other politicians around me are right, that I just don't understand how government works, and I have to get used to how the process works. It works differently in government, Kevin, and you need to understand that. I don't think I can do that.